Death is humanity's one inescapable absolute. We view it as the final, silent guarantee waiting at the end of every life. But recall a moment when that guarantee was almost triggered early. Think of the car that swerved into your lane, or the sudden illness where your fever spiked into the danger zone. When you walk away from a moment like that, you likely brush off the cold sweat and credit your survival to luck, fate, or a statistical miracle. There is a more unsettling explanation for your survival. Escaping a near-death experience serves as evidence of a strict physical limitation. From your own first-person perspective, it is impossible for you to die. In another parallel reality, that fatal outcome actually happened. The collision occurred. The fever never broke. In that branch of the multiverse, your life reached its conclusion. Because consciousness requires a functioning brain to process time and space, your mind cannot witness its own end. Instead, your consciousness is forcefully ejected from the dying timeline and seamlessly deposited into this current branch, the one where you survived. Human perception operates under a massive mathematical bias. Because you cannot experience a universe where you are dead, your subjective reality is rigged for continuous survival. This existential trap is built on the foundations of theoretical physics. In 1957, physicist Hugh Everett proposed the many worlds interpretation to explain the behavior of quantum mechanics. Everett argued that when a quantum event occurs, reality refuses to select a single outcome. Instead of one path continuing, reality violently fractures. It physically divides into parallel dimensions to accommodate every result. A coin flip illustrates the split. In one universe, it lands on heads. In a mirror universe, it lands on tails. Both resulting realities are equally real and exist simultaneously, yet they remain completely blind to one another. Every chance event creates an infinite, constantly branching web of realities. This web forms the architecture of the ultimate physical cage. We can apply Everett's theory to human survival through a thought experiment known as quantum suicide. A subject is placed in a room with a weapon wired to a machine that measures the spin of a single quantum particle. If the particle spins clockwise, the weapon fires. If it spins counterclockwise, it only clicks. It is an absolute 50-50 chance. To an outside observer watching the experiment, the laws of probability guarantee that the subject will eventually die as the trials continue. But if you are the subject, the rules change. You cannot process a universe where your brain has ceased to function. At the microsecond of the potential fatal shot, your consciousness slides into the alternate branch where the machine malfunctioned or the particle spun the other way. You could pull the trigger 1,000 times and hear only 1,000 empty clicks. You would survive an event with a 0% statistical survival rate. The laws of physics guarantee your tragic end to everyone watching, but they enforce absolute, inescapable immortality upon yourself. This quantum mechanism operates far beyond the walls of a laboratory. It is the silent engine driving your current existence. There is a horrifying flaw in this loophole. While quantum mechanics forces your consciousness to survive, it does nothing to halt biological aging or cellular decay. Your body will still age, your organs will fail, yet you will keep surviving against increasingly absurd and impossible medical odds because your consciousness has no other place to go. The universe will continually transfer your mind into increasingly bizarre and degraded timelines simply to maintain your status as a conscious observer. This immortality is a brutal biological trap. It denies you the final release that every other living thing is promised. This survival is a solitary sentence. Your friends and family are not bound by your specific timeline. In your reality, they will age and die normally. You will eventually outlive the human race. You will be left as a decaying consciousness in a dying universe, unable to clock out because the laws of physics refuse to let the lights go out. The peaceful end you expect is a comforting lie. At Enigma Core, we decode the mechanics of the simulation you are trapped in, revealing the truth that your own mind is the ultimate prison. Subscribe to Enigma Core. We'll be waiting for you in the next timeline.